welcome to this week's edition of Southview. I am Leslie Huffmaster, and today we are joined with
William Chandler
and
Terrence Hollis.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started on our first topic. The Cleveland Indians will be discontinuing the use of their Chief Wahoo logo. What this means is that they will no longer be using the image of the Indian in their jersey uniforms. However, they will continue to still sell merchandise with the logo on it after the 2019 season. What are your thoughts on this subject? I know you had a lot to say about it, Terrence.
Yes.
So we'll open it up with you.
I think it's good that they are changing it, but at the exact same time, still selling the merchandise with it. It's just
like, why? What's even the point?
Yeah, what's the point? You might as well go and keep the same thing. But I do think
maybe they'll phase it out, though.
Hopefully, the team in Washington, the professional football team in Washington, would follow suit.
The Redskins.
Yes, the team.
You weren't gonna say it. I will say it though. The Redskins.
I refuse to say it. I just refuse to say it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's just because of the fact that, change the name if you're gonna do something. Like if you're gonna.
It's quite racist. Yeah.
The name itself is more, offensive than the actual logo to me. So.
Yeah.
Well, when we were determining things to cut from this issue, I know I was the first to say the Indians need to go. But, okay, I guess I'll take the exact opposite view of you, Terrence. No, I'm kidding. So, I think it has more or less to do with just people getting more and more offended these days. I mean, we haven't had this. How long? I don't know the history of any of the teams. I'm not a sports person, but how long has it been around?
Probably the early
40 years, I think.
For which team?
For the Indians.
The Indians? Oh, that's been
since the 60s. I read an
probably
article
a little
on
before.
it yesterday.
I would say maybe 50s.
So let's say half a century.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Half a century, these teams have had these names, or at least this one team. I don't know the other one, the Redskins, but. They've had these names for so long, and to have it change, I get it. To be more PC and be more politically correct, I get it. But is it really doing any harm? Is it hurting their image? I mean, I understand it's kind of a racist with the Apache
The name
chief.
itself doesn't really bother me for the Cleveland Indians. It's more or less the logo, just like for the team in Washington.
Because
the
it's
name
not
bothers
a
me more
flattering
so.
picture of an Indian. It's like.
Well, what if you had it be more flattering? Would that make it better?
Then, yeah, I mean, I guess.
How can you make it more flattering, though?
Have you not seen the logo?
I have seen the logo.
I've seen the logo.
It doesn't look like what an Indian, I guess, we would. I mean, a Native American really would look like, right?
Like blood red and grinning like.
So turn down the skin tone. Maybe not make him. I just don't see it. I think it looks cool. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's a caricature.
It's a character. It's not portraying who they are or what they are right now. It's just everyone getting so offended these days over every little thing. I mean, I hate sports.
I just say remove the entire, just the logo. I'm not saying the name because the name can stay. It's nothing wrong with the name.
Okay, we're all communication students, aren't we?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Branding's important.
Yes.
The New England Patriots, there's a damn Patriot. With the Washington Redskins, maybe the Washington Indians or something else, or I don't know. I mean, maybe
the Washington Native Americans.
You can call them Washington Native Americans.
You can call them Washington Pigskins for that matter.
Okay, that's a bit much for my taste, but I got to get that out of my mouth. But
I'm talking about the football, not calling the people themselves.
Oh,
yeah. That's what football is called. Pigskin. Have you never heard that?
Oh, the football itself is because it's made out of a pigskin.
Oh, good God. Oh, no.
He thought you were. He thought you were being even more racist.
Oh, good. Anyways, but my point is, with branding.
What do you take me for?
Shut up. Just let's get past that. Wow. But if we're promoting these guys as Indians and we have what's the new logo going to be? What's it going to be?
They have not released that information yet. I know that they're going to continue to use the logo within their jerseys
from a branding and marketing standpoint
through this season, and then next
they could use
season.
a tomahawk.
The tomahawk. Okay, so change their names to Tomahawks. It's not it's no longer the Indians. It's the Tomahawks now. And Tomahawks is a weapon. And God forbid we have a weapon.
Okay.
Is a logo.
Why are all of our teams named after Native Americans? Why even are we doing that?
You have the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah.
A team in Washington.
Uh-huh.
The Chicago Blackhawks.
Why can't we come up with a sports name?
Okay, so
I don't know.
That's a good question. I guess everyone would have to get on board for that, and I doubt anyone's going to get on board with that. This is their logo. This is their brand. This is something. It's a tradition. I'm a very traditional man, and these are traditions, even though they're not.
I just
the best
I like new
traditions.
I just hate the idea of them
sometimes,
calling
too.
them, you know, the team in Washington specifically.
Yeah.
Change the name, just the name
See,
itself.
did they change the name and then went back to the Redskins as their
No,
name?
they lost. So I guess I think the trademark.
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
South Park made a whole episode about that.
Oh,
That was great.
okay,
I
yeah.
enjoyed it thoroughly.
So, yay or nay? You're obviously gay for removing the logo. You're
yes.
kind of
I'm meh.
indifferent, like you don't care.
I don't give a damn.
I'm all for change. So in our country, we're going through a lot of changes. I'm a traditionalist as well, but I like more like family traditions and stuff. That's good, wholesome fun, maybe not necessarily racist traditions. So I think, change is good. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's see how it does. Maybe we can set some precedents for some of these other teams. So we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be right back. Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Get out to the forest.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's gonna be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Hey guys, wait up!
And discover the wonders of nature with your family.
These trees are the key to our way of life.
Fresh air,
What a glorious morning!
clean water,
Woohoo! This is great!
and endless forest adventure.
Let's rock this jungle! Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing!
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us and coming back for our next big topic. Hopefully some of y'all were able to watch it last night. You should, because it's a very important topic. The State of the Union address was given by President Trump last night. Yeah. If you do not know what the State of the Union address, it is when the president goes before the entire country and gives a speech on the changes and things that came into place during his first year or just that year.
The first period.
The first period of the presidency. They do it once a year, so next year to be this coming up year. Anyway, so did y'all catch the big production last night?
Of course I did, and I love it how you used the word production, because that's exactly what it was.
Exactly from
what
the
it was.
beginning when they announced his name out there to introduce him, when the Secret Service guys come out and they're like, presenting President, blah, 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 I like screamed his name. I was like, what? Do all the presidents do that?
No one in history has
Okay,
ever
but I
done
didn't think
that.
so. And
The
I was
Orange
like,
Oompa Loompa is the first.
what was that? I was like,
It
what
was
was
bad.
that even? It was bad.
It was bad.
It looked like he was a showboater. And I noticed some of the commentators afterwards that were summing up the address, they were like, well, he didn't necessarily talk about himself as much as we thought he would.
But he still did.
But he still
He manages
did.
to. How great, how huge, how fantastic of a job I have done. I mean,
Okay. From what he spoke last night, there are a lot of great things that he can be proud of that have happened within his presidency, such as the historically
Now, come on, don't give us
low
eyes.
unemployment rate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he inherited from Barack Obama.
Who inherited it from somebody else? That's
Actually,
what's
Barack
happened.
inherited a pretty.
Bad deficit from
He
which-
did.
yeah.
Well, the deficit's
Hey,
still
I'll give
pretty
him credit.
bad, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's still. Okay, I'll give Trump credit where credit is due. He's done a great job with the economy. The stock market has never been higher, at least not in the last 20 years or so.
It's broke a lot of records.
I mean, he's done a great
How
job.
much of that is actually his accomplishment?
And it's probably more along the lines of his staff or the past administration. I don't credit Obama entirely for the boom in the market, stock market, and the economy. But it would be naive to say that he didn't do something.
Anything,
to
yeah.
contribute.
Right.
Now, I will say with Trump, he hasn't done as much socially as he should have. And I'm surprised State of the Union didn't include his top 10 best tweets during his presidency so far.
They did not.
Yeah.
That's like his
another
greatest
gripe
accomplishment is
then.
his tweeting.
Yeah.
He won't
But
stop.
Kim Jong-un, I have huge weapons of mass destruction. You don't. Yeah.
The Rocket Man.
The biggie man.
Terrence, what about you? Were you able to watch the speech?
Parts of it when I wasn't watching, James Harden making history, 60-point, triple-double.
No, I said that to my grandmother as I was talking with her on the phone. I wonder if they had to compete with ratings.
It's sports, but we're gonna stick to the actual topic at hand.
Okay.
Yeah, the parts I did watch, I really didn't like because every time, all I can imagine was just him trying to, be more egotistical for me because every time he would say something, applause.
They
applause.
always
I'm thinking,
do that though. That's like they always have like a summary. How many times the crowd applauded,
Right.
or how long
But
that
to me,
took
it was
up
more or less
his
feeding
speech.
into his ego because of the smug look on his face, kind of.
Oh, how we would back
Well,
away from the podium. Or
the,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the God Bless America thing. Everyone.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Gotta sit down for a minute. Listen to a few more parts.
And,
oh,
and
God bless America.
only half the room would stand up too. Like only half the room. I
But
noticed
on a
that
serious
for a
note,
lot
he
of
did
things.
have some few good things, and I hate to say,
Whoa.
yeah.
We'll call those
yeah,
accomplishments.
yeah,
Be
no,
positive.
He doesn't want to give him any credit.
I do and I don't because it's more of a liberal idea coming from someone who's,
So far, right?
yeah, the whole thing about the, I guess, pathway to citizenship. I guess it's more like amnesty in a way, kind of, sort of, but that was
I'm
the
sure
most.
someone on his cabinet said something like, "Hey, guy, you can't deport 18 million people."
1.8 million.
Well,
1.8 million?
1.8
Ah, my bad. Numbers were off.
honestly,
Yeah.
my opinion,
Uh-huh.
Trump doesn't do anything. He's only the
No.
face.
No.
He is he is literally the face. He has all those people working behind the scenes.
Is it
he
General
is
H.R.
the
McMaster?
face for the government now,
His
not even a president.
chief of staff? Is it? I don't.
It's changed so many times.
I want to say it's General McMaster. I want
could
to
be.
say that.
It could be.
Oh, his chief of staff.
Yes.
But
I think he's in charge, or Pence.
Well, there's his whole cabinet does everything. He has all his advisors
I
and
will
everything.
say this last thing as we're leaving off.
I can't believe we've already gotten
yeah,
to
no
the
kidding.
end.
I'll say this much: there's never been a president. Well, it's been since George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton that both sides they looked happy and they looked energetic and they were supporting the president. And after the Bill Clinton sex scandal, and then on to George Bush, and then on to Obama, and now to Trump, every side that's not the party
Right.
or something, snickering, something or another. I would just like to see for once, before I die,
Unity.
that everyone is supporting the president, or at least look encouraging or happy for the State of the Union.
It was.
If it was a different president, even if it was a different Republican, even though I am a kind of a strong liberal person, if it was a different Republican president, I would be more happy.
Yeah.
I am not joking.
You'd just be happy it was anybody other than Trump.
Or Ted Cruz.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for this topic. I'm sure we'll revisit it here in the near future. We'll be right back.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one someone here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
So good to see you guys.
So, what's up?
We finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back, and we're on to our next exciting topic. This one we're going to switch gears a little bit, haha, literally. German car makers have admitted to forcing caged monkeys to inhale diesel fumes in order to test the health effects of the fumes on animals. So the question with this is, animal testing, is it good, bad?
Hell no, it's bad.
It's bad.
I don't like animal testing at all. Even as a Republican, I hate it. I don't like it.
I don't understand it anymore because, you can make a contract and have an actual human being come out there and be experimented on, but pay them, but there's no need
the
for it.
monkeys don't have a say-so about whether or not they want to voluntarily participate in this study.
First it was putting lipstick on rabbits in the 1940s, and now, or 1920s, my bad.
Okay.
And now it's gone all the way up to medication and pills that could damage vital organs, and oh no, it's a dead rabbit against a dead human.
It's still a
still not
thing.
good.
It still has feelings, right?
Yeah.
But without animal testing, we would not have a lot of the big advancements in medicine.
And that I agree with.
And so, what would you
propose?
What would you propose as the alternative?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's been test rats and test frogs and vermin and things like that have been tested. I'm not okay with them testing a sweet little bunny or a dog or anything.
Animal lover myself
but
too.
If it's a rat and it's a lab rat, I mean, I get it. Sure, why not?
Test it on I say test it on people because, like diesel fumes, we don't need to know how monkeys interact with diesel fumes. They're not out huffing gas.
Anything that goes into your lungs at this point is pretty bad, I think.
By now we know that diesel fumes, and like for the diesel fume thing, we have like sensors and like equipment that could test like diesel fumes in the air.
Exactly.
Instead of using people or animals.
So why use the actual animals when you have technology that can replace it?
Now I'll say this.
Because it's cheaper?
Humans are obviously willing to test anything.
Yeah.
Like the Tide Pod. They're willing to test anything for free and for stupidity. I am willing to bet if you paid someone $5, here, go test this Tide Pod thing. Oh, absolutely. Or this medication for $1,000. Absolutely.
That was actually a challenge. There was a.
Oh, whatever. My point is, hey
So
guys,
they were
don't do
doing
the
it for
Tide
free.
Pods.
They were doing it for free then.
Yes.
The other half of the millennials, I don't like the.
The other half?
The other half? You mean our half?
No.
Not my half.
No.
I'm not even a millennial.
No, you're
I'm
not,
out.
Leslie. By the way, she looks a lot. She's really young and really young looking. She's about 21 years old.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going with that.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that. I mean, I look like I'm 14, so.
Whatever. You help me look younger
There you
too.
go.
Yeah.
And Terrence looks like Terrence.
Terrence.
So. Anyways, let's get back to the
looks like
topic
a
of
Walmart
animal
employee.
cruelty.
It's horrible. I'm kidding. Oh,
Anyway, animals. So what do we do?
Use technology.
What do you do? Use technology.
Yes.
It may be a little bit more
Simulations
costly.
Or
no, well, yeah,
like
actually.
sensors,
or
simulations.
use actual people, because how do we know how these products are being, how they're going to affect actual human
Flesh and
beings?
blood, yeah.
Exactly, versus an animal, because some of our organs are different. Some things don't react the exact same way it will with an actual person. So
we have different chemical makeups within our body.
A rabbit heart's going to be different from a human heart.
Right. I do understand why monkeys, though, because they are technically the closest thing to
a human.
But if they're the closest thing to us, then why would we be doing this to them?
Yeah, poor
it's
things.
awful.
Because common sense isn't necessarily common either.
I'm gonna write that on my mug.
And I really don't have anything else to say after that. That's it, though.
Let's draw a
Terrence, you're
conclusion
so
then.
smart.
An early conclusion. That was very well done. Anyways, Leslie, you want to wrap it up?
I don't know if it's time to, but we are all
We're good.
against animal
We're good.
testing
Yeah.
here, apparently. I know that
Apparently.
you can look on products and you can find information on there about whether or not this product has ever been tested on animals if you just want to boycott that altogether. But that is all the time that we have for today. We thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition of Southview, and we'll see you next time. Bye.